And I welcome you back to the Debrinick channel, and tonight we are going to be talking about the Ohio River and the possibility of flooding coming this spring. It's looking very bleak. There's a lot of precipitation heading that way, and the long-range forecast also includes a lot of above-average precipitation coming to the Ohio River in the next several months coming up. And if you're a fan of this content and you like my channel, please consider giving it a like, a thumbs up, and if you do that, please consider subscribing and please consider sharing. And with that being said, let's roll right over to windy.com like we always do, and we're going to start the 3-day. You can see a little bit of precipitation coming here in the next 3 days, not a whole lot, 0.34, and things start to get interesting around the 5-day mark. You can see that 2.25 inches of precipitation and 3.35 down here. These river levels are just peaking or just peaked yesterday, and this was at moderate flood stage. We'll be showing that. And you can see up over here at Louisville, they're expecting 1.8, and Cincinnati another 2.2. And we go to the GFS and see if it's any difference. You can see that 3.8 over here, they're expecting quite a bit more in the high threes here. So they are slightly disagreeing. They're going to get precipitation. How much is the question the next 5 days? Quite a bit. We go the next 10 days and you can see that turns into a moderate, almost 4 inches, especially over here by Louisville, and Louisville 3.82, like Tennessee River, the Ohio River, the Wabash River, the White River, all these rivers here, the Little Wabash here, and even from St. Louis to the north is going to get a whole bunch of rain. So we'll be watching this to see if this comes to pass. Now, it's not very good news, especially because this just peaked right through here. The flood from the snow melt and the rain from last week, it is probably hitting right around the Mississippi River right at this point. I'll be showing you that here in a bit. Let's go to the long range and I'll show you that they're talking about a whole bunch of precipitation right through here for the next several months. So this could be bad news for down here, and we'll be talking about that here in a bit. There's a couple things that will go awry. They always try to save New Orleans, and I'll talk about that coming up. So to the long range forecast we go. Here we are at the long range forecast, and this is February through March. You can see above normal here in Indiana and parts of Illinois, parts of Kentucky and Northwest Tennessee and Ohio even. You can see that it's above normal, and this over here, just as predicted, is wet as well. So this was made February 2022 for March 2022, and so far it's been spot on. So let's go to the next one. Here we are, same thing, most of Illinois from about St. Louis up through Champaign, up to most of Indiana, almost the entire state of Ohio, part of Kentucky, and then down here they're even calling for quite a bit. There's a 55% chance of being above and 50% chance, and this is your normal down here. And then over here, look at the west. The west is just below normal, and that's sad, and I'll be talking about that tomorrow in a different video. Let's go out a little bit further yet. Here we are, May, June, July. These are the months. You can see May, June, July 2022 right there. You got the whole state of Ohio above average, the middle of Indiana above normal, and even over here there's still a 60 to 50% chance that it could be above normal in the whole state of Illinois, and even the whole state of Kentucky and part of northern Tennessee. And all this water flows into the Ohio River and all the way even over into Pennsylvania where the Ohio River starts. So this could be an epic flood coming this year. Will it be as bad as the 1973 flood? We will see. Check out the west over here, completely below normal. Not a very good situation. So above, below, and that's what we got. I'm not going to go out too much further than that. I want to talk about some other things as well. And with that being said, let's go over to the rivers and see what they currently sit at. So here we already have a lot of rivers running very, very high. You can see over here at the Locken Dam and Newburgh, they are in minor flood staging already. Now they say that the forecast is going to drop dramatically if you look, but there's more precipitation coming, so that is tentatively going to go back up if that's the case in the next 5 days. This only goes out 4 or 5 days, so I could see that coming down the pike here. And then we scoot up here to Mount Carmel. You can see they're coming from moderate flooding and they're going down, but there's more precipitation coming, so once again that's going to be a problem. We go over to St. Louis over here, and you can see St. Louis is it's steady. We got quite a bit of play there. We scoot up a little bit here to the Illinois River. You could see over here at the Illinois River, minor flooding over there at Illinois River at Valley City there. Then down here here at Hardin, you can see that it's just below Action, so you have that going on. So the river's coming down. We scoot down here to like a little town called Grafton, Illinois. You can see that they're close to flooding. They're almost to Action, not quite. There was a little bump there, but there hasn't really been any precipitation here in the state of Illinois for quite a bit of time. We come up here to the Wabash River, and you can see that they're coming down. But then we come down here to Paducah, Kentucky. You can see that they're cresting right now at moderate flood stage. It just crested at 44.58, and it's starting to fall, but there's more precipitation coming, as I can stress not enough here. We come over here to Cairo, Illinois, and you can see it's just starting to flood at 47.11. Moderate. Big shout out to D for inspiring me to make these videos. He's down there in Cairo, Illinois. Say hello to D. We come down here to New Madrid. You can see that it's starting to rise at 34. You got minor flooding, so not a whole lot. This brings me to Red River Landing. I want to talk about this in detail tonight. You can see that it's starting to come up. We're almost to minor flood staging, and Red River Landing is exactly where they let 30% of the Mississippi River into the Atchafalaya River. Now, I don't know how many of you know this. Some of you probably do. Some of you probably don't, but the Mississippi River almost changed and went to the Atchafalaya River had it not been for man coming in and fixing it. So this takes me to the Morganza Spillway, and the Morganza Spillway is just up from Baton Rouge. In Baton Rouge, it's near the Red River Landing, and you can see that it's starting to get to minor flooding. It's at 46.51, and it's going forecasted to go to 49 feet, which is normal for that time of year. Now, the old river structure allows 30% of the Mississippi to go down the Atchafalaya. Now the Morganza Spillway is seen here. You can see it. This is a structure that allows water to be diverted from the Mississippi River to the Atchafalaya River. Now, in the 1973 flood, there was scouring along this, and it almost caused the river to completely change course, as it has done many, many times throughout the history, until man came along and said, no more, we're not allowing that to happen whatsoever, and that's just the way it's going to be. So what they did is they came here, they put flood preventions down at the Bonnet Carré Spillway further south near New Orleans that goes into Lake Pontchartrain, and then the Morganza Spillway as seen here. And basically what they do is they open up these gates. So I bring in the mouse, it only shows a plus sign, but right through here it shows that these weirs, they come in here with cranes and they lift these up and they allow water freely from the Mississippi. Now, if we look at this on the map, which we will here in a second, this right here is a picture of the old Mississippi, and you can see how many times it's changed course throughout the years. It makes these little things called oxbows here, and these oxbows change as it gets silted in. It starts to change course. Well, man has come in and they used to put willow trees in here years and years and years ago, and then they decided that they were basically almost making these willow trees come extinct, so they decided that they would start putting in concrete, and now they actually have big machines that come in, and they have a crew that works there, and they anchor them to the bed, and it makes the middle scour more instead of the side of the walls, and it saves the walls, and it keeps the channel running its course. Now, major flooding events is what causes these oxbows, including also the change of the course of the Mississippi. Now, one day man will not be able to control this, and they'll have a big fight on their hand, because the biggest flood to ever hit was the 1927 flood in the Mississippi River, and that was just a terrible, terrible flood, and there was spots of the Mississippi that were 80 miles wide, so reported. So that's just insane. That's huge, and there might be more coming. With all this precipitation coming, this might be the next flood to hit. If they start opening up the Bonnet Carré Spillway, then we will be concerned. If they do that, then we'll be looking to see if they open up the Morganza Spillway. And they also have a thing called Bird's Point View. It's in Missouri. It's in the flat bottoms. It basically diverts water out into the field, and it just allows water to basically run free to slow down the flooding. Man tries and tries, and so far they've been successful, but one of these times I believe that they will not be. Just my opinion, but Mother Nature always seems to find a way to win, regardless to what man does sometimes. The whole point of these spillways is to protect New Orleans Orleans and Baton Rouge, because if the Mississippi changes course, there won't be no big bay down there in New Orleans, and that city will become a ghost town. It thrives off of people bringing in cargo from all over the world as imports and exports, oil and whatnot, go through there. Instead, the river would be at the Atchafalaya. Now, it's a possibility that that could happen one day. Will it happen in our lifetime? It's just hard to say. But it has happened many, many times before, and it can definitely happen again. Man can only do so much. And you get the right flood in the right situation, there's going to be nothing they can do about it. So keep that in mind for down the river. So that is all I have for tonight. I hope this was educational, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. The future outcome of the river is at Mother Nature's hands, and you guys have a blessed day, and we'll see you on the next one. We'll be talking about the West on the next video. God bless.